Hello, welcome back to the Villa View. It's time for the first match preview of the season, sponsored by BetBall.
Download BetBall today, and if you bet £20, you'll get £20 back as a free bet. You can follow the most successful tipsters to copy their bets and spin the wheel to get up to a 30% ACCA boost. You can download the BetBall app using our link in the description below. Please don't sign up to the app if you're under the age of 18 and do gamble responsibly. So after the video I did the other day about the mugs, which have unbelievably now sold out, I also talked about a sponsor, and we've got these first couple of previews sponsored by BetBall, which we'll come on to a little bit later. But Dan, it's Hull City, first game of the season, like last year. We've been here before, haven't we? It's a little bit like deja vu.
Yeah, obviously the big difference being that we're away from home, which I always like to start the season at home, as I'm sure all Villa fans do. I'm not particularly keen on starting on a Monday night either.
No, normally.
That's the other thing, but it is what it is. I'm sure many of our games will get moved for TV this season, so we just have to go for it, and hopefully we'll get off to a winning start, which we didn't manage to do against Hull last season.
I think Steve Bruce mentioned that he sort of said something like, you have to get over that playoff disappointment if you can. Do you think there is an element that there could be a little bit of a hangover from what happened at Wembley?
I'm not sure. I mean, I still think about it every day, so I'm sure a lot of the players will do as well. The thing is, it's the same kind of squad, isn't it? Because we haven't really bought anyone. There's not really any fresh players coming into it who wouldn't be haunted by it. So from that respect, I suppose it will be difficult to get over. I suppose there's also the fact that we've lost a lot of key players in the dressing room who would have perhaps been on to the lads to get over it and start again and tell them it's a new season. So it's a bit of an unknown, really, because obviously we've never been in this kind of situation before, where we're coming off the back of losing such a monumental game of football that's affected the whole of your next season. And it's been a turbulent summer anyway. I mean, it's been a quiet transfer window for us. It's starting to move in the right direction now. We're starting to get a few incomings, but I genuinely don't know what to expect from this Villa side, even from watching the games in pre-season. I have absolutely not really any idea how we're going to line up or what the general team or formation will be this season. So Monday will be the first time I can sit back and think, right, this is what we're doing this season. Yeah,
we'll come on to formation a little bit and team selection a little bit later. Are you sort of relieved almost in a sense that summer period is over now? Obviously the window's not shut quite yet, but it feels like a long time since Wembley, even though it's only been, I think, 6 weeks or something, is it, since Wembley? It feels like such a long time since then. To actually get back now and start playing competitive games again, it does feel a little bit like a relief, although season started Friday night. We've got a whole Saturday, whole Sunday before we even get going.
Yeah, I think the World Cup was a nice distraction. Obviously, England had a really good summer, and the World Cup in general, it was probably the best tournament I remember since Euro 96. Every game seemed to be a pretty good game, so it was a far cry from the Euros 2 years ago. But as I say, I'm still thinking about Villa every day. We had all the issues with money and not being able to get players back and potentially selling players. I mean, I'll be glad when the transfer window's shut and I can say definitely that we've held on to our best players. My gut's telling me that we will hang on to them. I said last week, if Jack's in the team on Monday, then I think that's a good sign, and Pochettino said himself they're no further along. So we just need the transfer window to shut now. That I think all our business will be loans, so it still might be the end of August till we know what kind of shape our squad's in.
We know that one game in or 2 games in or whatever it is, that's the players we've got left are the players that will be here till January at least. And if that includes the likes of Chester, who obviously seems like he's staying now with being announced as captain, and Jack Grealish, obviously, then I think we're in a good position that most Villa fans probably, sort of 2-3 weeks ago were thinking, who's going to be left at Villa?
Yeah, it's just the problem is obviously we've had a bit of short-term thinking last season with the loans, and they've left big holes in the squad. Because I look at our squad at the moment, I think it's very disjointed. There's not a lot going on down the left-hand side. We're short on centre-backs. I think we're short of wide players as well. Only really Adoma and Green are the wide players at the club now, although Codger can play there. But I just think we need...
There's no strikers.
Yeah, and all the strikers are injured, so we need incomings now. I look at that team that's probably going to take on Hull on Monday night, and it doesn't fill me with massive confidence, to be honest. I don't like saying that, but I think we need some incomings for sure. There's the nucleus of a good side there, but we are short in certain areas, as I've just mentioned.
I think you said that you sort of expected 3 or 4 to come in. I think Bruce said something similar today, and that they were close to 1 or 2, I think were his words. And if that is the case, that players are coming in that bolster the squad and come in as, first teamers or in and around the first team picture, that's obviously great news for us. We sort of discussed earlier on WhatsApp, we sort of went through what we thought the predicted lineup would be ahead of this preview to sort of prepare. And we sort of almost put 2 teams down as one that we thought that Bruce might go for, the route we've been playing in pre-season with the 3 at the back. And we sort of settled on a second team that I feel like the second team wouldn't be that bad. I feel like we should be good enough to beat Hull anyway with that second team. I don't think I'd fancy going into the whole season with the limited squad that we've got in terms of options. I think for the short term, I think there's enough quality there to get us through this next couple of weeks while deals are being done.
Yeah, I'm just worried about this 3 at the back more than anything, because we've lined up with that for the majority of the pre-season, and in my head, I don't think we've got the right personnel to play that formation. I mean, I don't want to bore people. I've said it in the podcast numerous times. We only have 1 centre back at the club that can play on the outside of a back 3. I think Delat could probably play there as well. But again, we've got like 4 people who can play right wing back, and not really anyone who can play left wing back. Adoma was playing there in pre-season. Neil Taylor's an orthodox full-back. I don't see him as an attacking wing back. And Adoma's been playing there in pre-season some games. And if you're putting your top scorer at left wing back, I don't think that makes any sense. And I think, as you say, that leads to a disjointed side. So I'm concerned with what formation we're going to pick on Monday. For me, we've only really got the players at the moment to play the 4-3-3 that we were playing last season, and I think that's the formation that gets the best out of your midfield players. And as I say, we've only got 2 wide players, so that they pick themselves. We've got 1 striker. He picks himself in Codger at the moment because all the others are injured, but 2 centre backs. So again, trying to play 3 at the back from that point of view seems a bit silly. So I'm hoping we go with the 4-3-3, but I've just got this horrible feeling that we'll start the season with 3 at the back, thinking that will make us a bit more secure on the opening day. But with the personnel, I don't see it that way.
I think there was an article on the club website that had sort of like went through position by position, and it had Green and Adoma as like the left wing back choice. And you sort of reading it like, probably, obviously we haven't seen that much of Green, but he looks at a really great creative prospect, really really pacey, scores good goals. Adoma, like you say, is your top scorer. Like, to shift those out at left wing back, I know obviously you expect a wing back to push on and play like a winger anyway, but I mean, there's going to be times where you're basically playing a back 5 rather than a 3, and you're playing players that, in those sort of positions, asking them to defend. Like chucking Andre Green in at 20 years old to defend at left back in the Championship just doesn't seem like a feasible option to me. And then you put Adoma up front and he's not really a striker, and it's just like you say, the personnel is right to play 3 at the back, but if you play it the whole of pre-season, surely that's what you go with now.
I mean, I've always liked 3 at the back because I grew up with Villa playing that formation under Brian Little and John Gregory. England have done well with it in the summer, but I don't think it's for us at the moment. You're going to be asking Hutton to play left centre back as well. I mean, we've asked him to play left back for pretty much the whole season last season. He did a very, very good job there, and I think you can ask him to play there, but asking him to play left centre back, he's going to be on the ball too much, and that's not really his game. I don't think he'd be comfortable there. He's been a great player for us the last 12 to 18 months, Alan Hutton, but asking him to play left centre back, I think that's a step too far. You pick the formation that gets your best players in the team, and you pick the formation that gets your best players playing in their proper position, and 3 at the back doesn't do that for Villa, I don't think.
So I've gone on the lookout for some new graphics of the previews. I'm sure you'll be happy to know, Dan, with the little team news and all that sort of stuff. Unfortunately, they're not in place for today's video because I haven't got them sorted in time, but I have got a rather crudely drawn picture that I designed that I said, can we have something like that, to the guy who's doing them. So look out for that in future videos, but at the moment we're just going to have to you'll have to listen to us talk through the names instead.
The graphics window's open, like the loan windows. It's long. It doesn't shut before day one, so we'll forgive you. So
do you want to run us through the team that we think Bruce might go for, and then I'll do the team that we'd like to see?
Yeah, as I say, I've got this feeling he's going to go with the 3 at the back. Bruce, he's always liked 3 at the back. He played it when he was Hull City manager. I'd be surprised if he played it all pre-season and didn't line up with it on Monday. So the team I think Bruce will pick will be Steer in goal, Chester, Elphick and Hutton across the back 3, Al Mohammadi right wing back, Delat left wing back, which is another player out of position as I said before, Whelan, Grealish and Horahan in midfield, and then Adoma playing slightly off Codger.
And to contrast that, the team that we sort of think that we'd like to see would be Steer in goal, Delac right back, Elphick and Chester at centre half, Hutton at left back, Bjarnason in that holding midfield role with Conor Horahan and Jack Grealish as a two, Adoma on the right, Green on the left and Jonathan Codger up front. And as we said earlier, those three sort of pick themselves by default if that's the formation that we go with, because there's no one else to play those positions at this point.
Yeah, I'd like to see Andre Green playing. He's had a bit of an explosive end to pre-season. I remember him doing quite well in pre-season last year as well, and then on the first day of the season, Gabby was left wing, which was a surprise to everyone. Obviously he scored against Hull in that game. I mean, I think it's going to be a big season for Andre Green, especially if we don't get any more wingers in, because he's going to have to be heavily relied upon for goal and assists output. But I want to see him playing on Monday. I want us to go there and have a go. I don't want us to sit back and play conservative. I mean, Hull will have deficiencies for sure, but I've been through their side. It's a beatable side, but then I thought it was a beatable side when we went there last season. We were lucky to come away with a 0-0 draw. I mean, I think they're lacking a bit of firepower themselves, to be fair. So we'll just have to see what happens. It's the first game of the season. I can't really call for 100% definite what I think Villa will do or how I think we'll play. It feels like a real unknown. I don't remember it feeling like that last year, but that's how it feels at the moment. I feel uncertain about it, but I think that's maybe just a symptom of an uncertain summer.
So obviously it's a little bit difficult for me to ask you an opinion of a team when we haven't started a new season and the window's still open, but talk to me about Hull a little bit. What do you know about them going into this game?
They got a couple of decent wide players. Grzycki's a player I always think looks quite dangerous whenever I've seen him play. I thought he looked quite dangerous when they were in the Premier League under Marcus Silva, so I'm surprised he's still there, but there's probably some form of reason for that. I'm surprised no one else has snapped him up. Jared Bowen, who scored against us at Villa Park last year, he's their main threat. I mean, I read something earlier that was saying they're going to be heavily relying on him, and it's not particularly fair to try and rely on him to get the bulk of their goals. So if we can keep him quiet, hopefully we'll keep Hull City quiet. They've got an old Villa boy in the back line that they brought in this summer as well, Eric Lehigh, so we'll have to watch out for his long throw, because that's pretty much the only attribute I can remember him having from when he was a Villa player. But as I say, I think any game in the Championship's tough. I mean, I've just watched most of the game tonight, Derby and Reading, where it looked like Reading were going to get a point, and then Derby score a worldie header in the 4th minute of stoppage time. So football's mad, but in particular the Championship's absolutely nuts.
So it's that part of the show where I asked for your prediction. We had a lot of messages asking if we're doing a fan score league for this season. We've sent a couple of emails out to the guys that we messaged last season and we got no reply. And I can't find the app on the App Store, and you've got the app, but it doesn't really work properly. So as it stands, there won't be a fan score league for this season, but we're looking into other apps and hopefully we'll find something similar, but it's not looking likely as it stands. However, this video is obviously sponsored by BetBall, so we're going to talk through some of the odds of our predictions as well. And if you fancy putting a bet on, you can go to the link in the description below. Make sure you're over the age of 18 and do gamble responsibly.
I'm going to go with the 1-1 on the first game of the season, same as last year's first day. I just think we're too disjointed at the moment. I think we'll start off and we'll possibly be a bit all over the place and go one down, but I think if we can get Jack and Codger and Connor and all those good players that we have going again in the second half, I think we'll pull back and get a 1-1.
So I've got my phone out for the app here, and your prediction for Monday's game of 1-1 would get you odds of 9-2. If you stick a tenner on, that's a return of 53.50. So not bad. Not
too shabby. I had a pretty decent World Cup betting wise, so it might be worth going along with what I say, although pretty much I'm always wrong about Villa. So from that point of view, probably ignore every word that's coming out of my mouth.
My bet, I did it earlier, my prediction, just so I could screen record some of the app, and I've gone for a slightly more ambitious 3-1 Villa.
No chance, Roller.
I'm sort of thinking that I'm hoping that for some reason we'll just decide to scrap the 3 at the back and go for this 4-3-3 and we'll be decent.
Yeah.
But I was skimming through this. I mean, it'd be weird to do that for the whole pre-season and then just go, oh no, okay, we're playing 4-3-3 now, but you know, stranger things have happened. I was looking through Hull squad earlier and I don't know whether it's my just ignorance of their squad, but I was just flicking through thinking I'm not really concerned too much about who they've got, and if our players are on song, then I fancy us going there and nicking the win. So I went 3-1 just to get some decent odds, stuck £2.50 on it, return of 52.50. So I'll be buzzing with that if that comes in for 250.
I really think it depends which codger turns up. Sometimes he can look a bit lethargic and like he's not really that interested in working hard. But if the codger from the season before comes back, then will hurt teams because he's capable of getting 20 to 25 goals if he remains fit for the whole season. He showed that in his first year, so I'm hoping we've got the codger back from the first year. He's had a full pre-season, he's scored a few goals, so I think he's probably the key man in this tie.
Well, yeah, we've still got Chester, captain, Horahan, double figures last year, Doma, double figures. Codger, if he's on form, Green looks lively, Grealish is still there.
Yeah.
There's enough there to beat Hull if we're on form, as I say. So 3-1. Sort of give a statement of intent to go there and say, look, we're Villa and we're back on track. That'd be great.
Yeah, a winning start would be nice. We haven't had a winning start in the Championship yet. Obviously, we lost our first fixture, and we drew last year, so we drew a win on the first day in the Championship. So that's it for today's Villa View match preview. If you have enjoyed this video, then make sure you click in the big old like button and also subscribe with your post notifications on if you haven't done so already to the Villa View YouTube channel. Leave a comment below with your prediction ahead of Monday's game. Are you confident going to Hull on Monday, or are you a bit like me, a bit more tentative, a bit more going into the unknown? Tom Julian and myself will be back in the booth on Tuesday night to dissect the Hull City game, so that will be with you guys on Wednesday in its usual audio and video format, so make sure you're looking out for that. I hope all the Villa fans going to Hull on Monday have a safe trip there and back, and make sure you're coming back with 3 points if you can. Thanks ever so much for watching again. Stick with the channel, stick with the Villa, up the Villa.
If you enjoyed that video, why not watch another one? Click one of the video options on screen now, and if you don't mind, subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.